Hello, everyone.
Test.
My name is Nizar Benchikroun. I'm from Marrakesh, Morocco, and I'm very happy to be here with you today and to moderate this panel with Juliana Cosa and Lisa Russell. So we'll be talking about foundations and organizations and how NFTs could change the way they raise funds and how it could impact the whole industry. I'm very happy that I had the opportunity and the chance to talk about this. Have been working with United Nations Industrial Development Organization for 5 years. Had also the chance to work with the United States Agency for International Development for 2 years. Had some missions with the Francophonie, l'OIF. So I've been on both sides. I've been on the brand side, the organizational side, and now with Web3, I have an understanding of the ecosystem. And for those who know me, knows that Juliana is dear to my heart. She's a dear friend, and we've been thinking about how NFTs could change the world. That's how big our thinking was for the past 2 years. I've had the chance to meet Lisa and talk about a few things already. We will try to make this as a discussion instead of being very formal. We were supposed to be 5. 2 of our guests couldn't come, our panelists, so our thought with them. And let's get this going. So first of all, I'd like you, Lisa, please, we start with you, because otherwise I'll be biased if I go with Juliana, so yeah, you know. So could you please just introduce yourself, say what you like to do and the way you like to do it.
Can you hear me now? Hi. Okay, yeah, so my name is Lisa Russell. I work as a filmmaker. I'm Emmy Award winning. Woo. But when people ask me, oh, that's great, have I seen any of your work? I'm like, probably not, because I work in a very unique space. I work for the United Nations. I'm a contracted, I'm not staff, but I'm contracted filmmaker and curator. So I've had a really great 20-year career where I've been paid to travel around the world to tell stories about incredible people and organizations doing great work for our planet. I have a background. I was in a hip hop dance group. I was a painter. I did a lot of music stuff. I was an arts person. But I had a single mom, and I was the first one in my family to go to college, so they told me, you know, being an artist is not a real job. So I kind of circumvented that, but I ended up getting a job in a war zone and then came to filmmaking. So I kind of came back, yeah. But so I've curated artists, whether they're musicians, poets, dancers, beatboxers, DJs, whatever, in the UN space at very high-level meetings. But one of the biggest challenges I have as a curator, can anybody guess?
Curating?
What's that?
Curating?
Yeah, no, that's actually not. Paying artists. The UN has told me, a friend at the UN told me, it is easier for the UN to buy a private jet than it is to buy a MetroCard for a young poet. And so this has been a struggle, a struggle of mine, and I understand the reason. Like, I don't think it's due to bad intentions, but they don't understand a lot of times how artists, especially who work in the gig economy, how we make money. So if you take the opportunity for us to make money away, both on the front end, meaning contracting us to produce films or art, and then you want it and then display it all over your social medias for a year, we don't make money on the back end, and so you're really creating a really inefficient space for artists and creators. So I'll wrap this up really quickly. My interest in the NFT
don't be
space.
Quick. Just please,
okay.
Please do so.
Well, I don't like to, I can talk all day.
Yeah, but
so
we could.
Right. They don't have time. So I was a speaker at Expo 2020 during the World Conference on Creative Economy, and I kept getting requests from my one UN friend that's like, we are doing this NFT contest for climate change, and we want to get all your artists involved. And anytime I hear the word contest, like a bell goes off where I'm like, okay, I want free art. And so I was really reluctant to share anything because I didn't know a lot about the NFT space at the time. So I went down the rabbit hole, and I learned all about collections and the community that it involves, how people are making money. I bought into a couple of collections, and I started to realize that this space provides the solution that I have been looking for to both pay artists and to respect intellectual property rights. So I am creating a collection myself, but I'm also, in addition, like thinking of all other kind of, like I went also down the rabbit hole of TikTok recently, and I've learned so much from all these entrepreneurs who are doing like print on demand, this, like all these entrepreneurial things, and I was like, I am going to teach artists how to make content for UN NGO agencies, which is the fundraising part, but in a way that also pays the artist. So I have, like, through my own, I've solved a problem I've been struggling with for literally 20 years, both with NFTs and with sort of a creative entrepreneurship approach to creating content for UN NGO agencies. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much. There are two things very important in my opinion. One, when you said, I don't work for the UN, I'm contracted, it's the best place to be, because then you're free to come with great ideas.
Exactly.
And for those who do not know how the UN works, they have a permanent staff, and they also contract people on missions. So you can have like 10 years of contract, which is not good, but still. Some people feel very good about that because it gives them the freedom to create and come with great ideas. That's the first part. The second part is you understanding from the inside, by doing, gives you more credibility to come with informations and with new ways to do things. That brings us to Juliana. Hello. Comment ça va?
Ça va, merci.
So Juliana, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and that's the perfect fit from
that's
what
a
we were
great
saying,
bridge.
because she's doing it from the inside.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, well, so again, Juliana Cossa, I'm Brazilian, and I have a marketing background. So I worked in different industries before I entered the space. I entered the space as a collector. It quickly led me to understanding the underlying technology and trying to see how we can disrupt other industries using this technology. So for a short amount of time, 2 years, for some of the projects, most of them with Nizar, we were advising companies in different industries. So it could be real estate, it could be charities, it could be, what else did we do?
Yeah, I mean, the Red Cross, for example.
Yeah, for charity, yeah. So
like a lot of,
a few industries, and then charity got to my mind, and because I saw that many collections were giving 10-20% to charities, and then I was like, why not having this kind of technology within the foundations and the associations to try to be at the upfront of these initiatives.
It started with the big apes. I remember we were talking about, the Bored Ape Yacht Club. They had one of the things they were saying they would give back was to the big apes. So that's where Juliana
like
said
every roadmap.
Yeah, no, but
every
it started
roadmap,
like that,
yeah.
And Juliana was like, oh, that's a trend. At that time, I didn't understand what she was saying. I was like, yeah, but they're just doing that. It's cool, but this is marketing. And we just realized that all the other collections were doing the same. And when she was like, no, there's something here that we can use.
Yeah, and then we started like looking into what Web3 space could provide as a tool for charities and associations to fundraise and to stick to their goals. It got me to enter at United Nations Training and Research Institute. So I've been working with them for 6 months now, and I'm very happy to be inside advocating for this change and using these tools to lead to innovation, because it's like a very risk-averse environment. It can be complicated, but because it's for good and because we can explain it in such a way that it's understandable, that the benefit is obvious, then we are kind of starting with a few initiatives now that I'm very proud of. The first one is about the SDGs, so Sustainable Development Goals, are kind of our guiding star. Every time we choose a cause, like we identify the SDG and then we work in a solution to support this SDG somehow, directly or indirectly. So the first one that I have the honor to work with is education. So education for least developed countries candidates that cannot enroll in some of the master programs that UNITAR developed with University for Peace. So we're creating an NFT collection and fundraising to onboard 50 candidates from LGCs within the next year on one of the 5 of the masters that we're creating. So this is coming up next month. I'm very happy about it. Thank you. And then we are also like inserting little by little the ideas of how blockchain can assist us in this traceability and in this peace of mind that everybody wants to have in knowing where this is going in such a way that it's like everybody knows the same thing.
Aren't we, when I say aren't we, by doing this, mixing art, impact, and utility, and that would give the NFT its true power in a way, because the crowd have seen NFTs as being only speculative assets because of the fluctuations of the market. But I do believe by you creating your own collection, understanding that there is something more than just the art, with all the love that I have for artists. And for that, I would like you to tell us a little bit more about the mechanics that you designed with your collection, knowing on both sides, by being from the inside with the United Nations, knowing the artists, etc. So what did you build and why did you build it this way?
Yeah, so I will preface that by saying I really do have a love-hate relationship with the United Nations. I really do.
That's life.
And they know it. They know it. There's some incredibly great people in the UN doing great work, but it is a system and it's an institution, and it has to be slow. I'm not mad that the UN is slow. But what is upsetting to me is sort of the lack of representation of artistic voices. In 2021, the UN declared it as the UN International Year of Creative Economy, which is like arts and creativity, for sustainable development. Most artists I know didn't even know that existed. Why? Because there are not artists inside being able to communicate this in a way that would reach artists. Like I sometimes say I'm multilingual. I speak artist talk and I speak UN talk, and they are on opposite spectrums. And so what I want is I want to do my NFT collection where I use it to not only raise funds for good causes, but also like fix the system that is broken inside the UN. There is a lot of people excited about artists and creators right now, a lot. But I can, like during COVID, they were like, oh, let's do a free art contest around COVID. I'm like, how are you asking artists right now to produce artwork for free when you are also at the same time saying it was a sector that's been hit hardest the first and last to recover. And so what I want to do is, I've already thought through this, and I would love to continue talking, especially with you guys, is using the NFT to then create a meta arts assembly similar to the UN General Assembly, where each artist has a seat and a vote, and we start voting and discussing things from an artistic point of view, not an entertainer point of view, but a creative thinker and problem solver about how we can use our arts and creativity to address some of these big world challenges. We are known for being creative thinkers and problem solvers, so wouldn't you want us at the seat at the table?
But I think,
you know what I mean?
I think they want us at the table, but they don't know how.
Because they don't have artists telling them how.
I cannot but rely to what you're saying. I've worked 4 years and a half for the cultural creative industries for the UN.
CCI.
So the CCI project in the southern Mediterranean countries.
UNESCO.
And I was very frustrated as well.
Yes.
But then I think sometimes when you believe that change comes from the inside, you have to do a step back and look at the picture and say, okay, if I understand both worlds, and I really do believe that these slow entities, which are meant to be slow because they're regulators, what do they need? Maybe they need you to do a step back, understand what they don't have time, resources to learn, and come back with the solution. So that frustration that you've been having, that love and hate, has to become love and love, you know?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? All love?
If you want to, no, it's happening.
It would be fantastic.
No, it's happening.
Not for me.
It will. There is a big awakening. Just us being here, giving our energy.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, if I want to see the bright side of it, I'm very happy to be inside the institution and advocate for that. Like, the very fact that we have a position as head of digital innovation, Web3 within an institution like this, and having this outside voice, like I come from the space, I know how it works, and I try to do as much as possible, like making everybody happy on that. But we were having this conversation about, like we had this event in Geneva last time for ITU, so it's something about telecommunications, and somehow we managed to have a blockchain discussion there, and this, you know, association and foundations, fundraising and this transparency within their spaces and within this conference. So there's a bright side to it, and I think we're on the right track.
And the NFT community was super excited when that was shared on social media, that the UN was thinking about metaverse, about NFTs as utility tools and the way to raise funds for causes. They felt encouraged in what they were doing. Like, okay, if big regulators are thinking about that and big organizations, it means we are still doing the right thing. Because the market has been so hard with collectors, buyers, and it made us sometimes feel like, oh, we were early, but maybe we were too early and we don't have the energy to continue. So having these big regulators looking at us, doing what we do, gives us power to give them more energy so that they understand what they need to create to change the world that we've been living.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand where you're coming from. I'm just going to play the devil advocate. So I live in Kenya.
Please do so.
I live in Kenya. I got stuck there during COVID, and I'm just like, I'm just going to stay. So I live between Brooklyn and Kenya, and the lack of resources and training and the digital divide, which is a real thing, keeps artists who are incredibly talented and community-driven from engaging in this space. Like, I am privileged to be in that space, and I know that. I work really hard to be in that, but to be there, I have a huge privilege. Those of us that are able to work inside of it, but the barrier of entry for an artist or creative to engage, I feel like in a meaningful way is limited. Like, for example, I cannot get a UN pass because I'm not a nonprofit.
Yeah, but it is limited today.
What's that?
It is limited today. If we have angels like you, it will grow, and we will educate people in Kenya to get a wallet, understanding, and get inside. This is how it's new.
Oh yeah, I'm confident in the community growth. Yeah. But I'm saying the connection to
you have to be
UN
the bridge.
NGO. I'm trying, but it's also difficult for me.
I know.
You know?
No, but I think there's this the bridge. It's complicated for you, but it's also complicated for, let's say, Web 2 people. Like the ticket is high for everyone, and the bear market helped us building solutions that are now frictionless and a little bit more user friendly. One of the problems that I have with my NFT collection is they don't have a wallet. Yeah, like I'm talking to donors, like this is not an NFT collection, a regular one that is meant to be speculative, and so I'm talking to Web 2 people coming to my space. So this is one of the challenges that I face today. Is like, no, not challenges because they are there, and thanks to the position that I'm holding now and these challenges that I'm facing, we're able to find solutions that allow us to bring on board these people.
Go deeper into that, like go technical. What kind of solutions and tools?
Now you can purchase your NFT by logging in with your email and paying with a credit card, and it will automatically create you a wallet, and you will receive all of the instructions to your email, but you can purchase it directly by logging in with an email. This is mom-proof solution.
So basically what you're saying is that when you created your NFT collection, you were thinking mass, and you were like, the buyers wouldn't be able to buy something that they would like because of the technical issues and the diffiences that they
absolutely
at the entrance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you solved it.
Yeah, by finding the solution. So we're building, there's this platform called foundation.io, and they are building a whole environment of solutions for NGOs and foundations to so this is one of the sides, like the artistic side is another thing.
Yeah.
So, but this part is an important one also, and it's addressed now, it's being addressed. It's not perfect yet, but we're going on the right way.
That brings me to my question, which is, which are today the best use case of bridging the gap between artists, NFTs, and organizations? For you, for example, if you don't see any best use case, it's okay. It's a bad question.
Yeah, so I got asked to MC this UN event in Thailand, and it was for the United Nations Population Fund, and they released a really beautiful dynamic NFT collection where they mined all the images that UNFPA had collected over the years to create this, you know, ever-changing NFT. And so every time it's sold, it changes again. So it's very, you know, cutting edge, it's cool, it's technique, but I think they didn't quite understand the community building element of it, because people are still very new. The fact that they released the collection is great. I actually looked at it yesterday. I don't see any buyers or anything like that. But I think my feeling is if you invest in the creators, they will create the communities and the roadmap that will then fund the organizations. So, for example, I'm a part of many women-related NFTs. I'm curating the Women Deliver Arts and Film Festival in Rwanda, if anybody is an NFT creator here on women-based projects. But what I did notice is that they weren't asked, like you were saying, to create a fundraising element to it. They incorporated into it because a lot of artists I know are very conscious. And so they realize making all of this money, they're gonna not want to hoard it, they're gonna wanna give it to something that they care about. So I think every single NFT collection I'm a part of has a roadmap that includes fundraising for a different cause that they care
it's good?
about.
You think it's good?
Yeah, I do. I mean, some of them are very, you know, I mean, Save the Children is legit, you know, I think Girls Who Code, I think, was another one. So I know the organizations, but what I found is that the power and the decision-making lies in the hands of the creators instead of the institutions. And I think, not that we need one or the other, but we need more balance. I think if there was more, again, artist representation where creators can come in and have conversations at the table who are representing a lot of different creative spaces, musicians, poets, filmmakers, people, you know, people in Kenya who don't have a bank card. Like, how do they engage with this, and how can we, you know, ensure that they're not left behind? There's a saying about the SDGs, you know, leave no one behind, and I oftentimes say leave no creator behind, because it's challenging, I think, for the creative industry and the creative sectors, and I think we could do better
I have
in
a
partnerships.
strong belief that it is happening, really, that it is happening. And that being said, you, Juliana, can you please tell us what is your favorite use case, or if there is not any use case, what would be the best use case? We still have 1 minute, so take your time.
I would say my dream use case. I would tell you how I see this moving forward. I would love blue chips in the future to be attached to avatars of people that are doing good out there, rather than to profiles of social media.
Come on, don't diminish that.
I would love to have giving.
Come on, we were early.
We love blue
Wag me.
checks.
Wag me.
No, but I mean, I would love like charitable actions to be just normal in a day-to-day life, and I would love the tech environment that we're building today to enable this, to some kind of recognition for that, for those who want, or for the causes who want, and I would like this to be part of our day-to-day lives.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to the technicians. Thank you, NFT NYC, for the renewed trust. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Juliana.
Thank you.
All the
Thanks,
love.
you guys. Yes,
Thank you.
Amazing. That was incredible. Thank you very much.